Welcome to another episode. We have with us Dr. Mrs. Ajay the principal of Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Jalandhar. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And ma'am, as you have held key positions at educational institutes throughout your professional career, what are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector?
Thank you, Mr. Rupinder, for giving me an opportunity to talk to the viewers through collegedunia.com. So far as my key positions in the education sector have been concerned, as rightly told by you, I started my career in 1990 from a DAV college at Nakodar, where I worked almost for a term of 7 years, got promoted and transferred to Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya as a lecturer, where I remained in the English department for 11 years. And from here, after doing my PhD from Himachal Pradesh University, I was promoted as principal R.R. Bawa DAV College for Girls, Batala. I worked there for 7 years, and after that, my management, that is DAV College Managing Committee, brought me back as principal of Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Jalandhar, and from 2016 onwards, now I am the principal of this very college. Besides being the principal of this college, I'm also interested with the job of being the manager of so many DAV public and aided schools. As you are well aware of the fact that DAV organization is a very big, or rather I should say, the biggest non-profitable organization right now working in the field of education, and we have more than 950 educational institutions under the umbrella of DAV College Managing Committee. DAV College Managing Committee is headed by our president, Dr. Poonam Suri, who himself is an educationist. He is from the management side. He is a Padma Shri awardee by Government of India in the field of literature and education, and it is under his guidance and stewardship that we, the principals, work at different levels. So, as I told you, apart from being the principal of the college, I am also being entrusted the job of being the manager of couple of schools, so as to provide guidance in the matters how the institutions can attain excellence. Besides that, I am a NAC assessor. I am a part and parcel of various committees of our affiliating university, that is Guru Nanak Dev University. I have also served as advisory member of Life Insurance Corporation of India. Along with this, so many local administration committees where we work for women empowerment, where we work for the legal rights of women. I am a part, and I humbly contribute to all these areas.
Yeah, that's great, ma'am. And ma'am, the next thing is being the principal of Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya. What is your philosophy of leadership, and how would you describe your leadership style?
No doubt, when it comes to the leader, leader makes all the difference. But then I am of the firm opinion that the leader alone cannot do the work. It is a teamwork basically. The more you have the cooperation and coordination of your team, the more successful you are. And as a leader of Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya, my philosophy is also the same, that I try to include large number of people in my projects, large number of faculty members, large number of non-teaching and supporting staff, because I personally feel that these are the three pillars of any institution. The faculty, I mean to say the teaching faculty, then the non-teaching staff, and then finally the supporting staff. And whatever feedback we get from the students, whatever feedback we get from our stakeholders, maybe from the alumni, maybe from the industry partner, that helps us in shaping our policies, that helps us in making our policies, revising our policies, so that we can give more than 100%. So when I talk about my philosophy of leadership, it is inclusion of more and more people so that they feel an important part of the organization. They are accountable, they are responsible, and I always believe that it is better that one brain thinks, and when we compare it with 10 brains, definitely the tilt is going to be on that side. But then being a leader, it is the duty of the leader, it is the responsibility of the leader to synthesize, and gather the good points of all that is being offered by your colleagues, by your teammates, and then prepare something which is going to be workable in the real life situation. So try to involve more and more people, try to have their cooperation, and then make some kind of a policy so that the return is 100%. That is my way of working.
Yeah, great, ma'am. And ma'am, the next thing is, as we know, the marketing and administration of any college is very much necessary. So being the principal of Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya, how would you strategize about the key programs and plans for the marketing and administration for your college?
So far as Rupinder, this word marketing is concerned, because I'm dealing with an educational institution, so I personally believe that there is no scope of marketing. I can substitute this word by saying that how do we try to make the students aware about the various programs which are being run in the institution. So for this, we have a proper mechanism. It is through social media, it is through print media, it is through verbal communication. And as you have seen that this college is 94 years young college. We were established in 1927 at Lahore, and after partition this institution came to Jalandhar, and ever since that we are there in Jalandhar. What I mean to tell you through this is that we have lakhs and lakhs of alumni who are not only spread all across India, but abroad too. So our best, marketing, in your words, or our best conversing in the society is through one's own experience. And it gives me real proud to share with you, that we have now 4 generations of some of the families coming to us. The great-great-grandmother, then the grandmother, then the mother, and now the daughter. So we have many alumni whose 4 generations they have studied in our college, and that itself stands as a testimony to the quality education that Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya is providing. But because today it is an era of competition, there are so many, you can say, institutes around us in Jalandhar, and it is very important for us to make the students aware what all we are offering. So for that, we occasionally have webinars. Very frequently, our teachers, they have the career counseling programs also, especially for the students of +2 class, because it is the +2 +1 class where the student finally makes up her mind as to in which particular direction the girls are to move. So the career counseling classes, the career counseling webinars, they help the students a lot. Apart from them, we are in media almost every day, whether it is electronic or print media. Through that also we try to popularize the courses courses which are being run by us. And many a times, there are some unique programs which are only being run in Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya. So proper conversing, proper advertisement, proper information of all this is provided on our website also, through prospectus also, through print and electronic media also. And time to time, our students, they attend the mentoring programs of the college also, where they are provided all these adequate informations. To sum up this particular point, I would say that we are Kaushal Kendra as granted by UGC, Government of India, MHRD. We are the only ones in this area to have more than 25 skill-oriented programs. We are the only one to have MVOC, Mental Health and Counseling, MVOC, cosmetology. This is just an example. And besides that, we have number of BVOC programs, we have number of community college programs. And very recently, University Grants Commission has granted us the permission to start PhD program in media and entertainment. So these are some of the programs which we are running. And besides that, all regular programs, traditional programs, all undergraduate PGs and undergraduate programs, they are all being run in the institution.
And so that's great. And the other thing is the education system. As you know, the education system in India and the other foreign countries are structured very differently. So in your vast experience, what can an unbound student gain from studying here in your college?
Yeah. Definitely, there is a lot of difference in the education system of India and foreign countries. And again, it gives me immense pleasure to share with you that the new education policy, which has recently, new education policy 2020, which has recently been launched by Government of India, efforts are being made to bridge the gap. But still, the implementation will take few years. And for the time being, what we are offering is that all our community college and BVOC programs, they are supplemented by the Sector Skill Council certificate. What do I mean by Sector Skill Council certificate? I will explain that we are offering the degree of our affiliating university, that is Guru Nanak Dev University. But apart from that, the Sector Skill Council, that is a sector of Government of India, that test is also being conducted in our institution for all the BVOC programs, for all the community college programs. And by attaining this dual certificate, that is the degree of the affiliating college, university, and the Sector Skill Council certificate, the students who are ambitious of going abroad, they can immediately get recognition there, because the Sector Skill Council certificate is valid all across the globe. Suppose a student is doing some fashion designing course, suppose a student is doing some multimedia program, some journalism program, some cosmetology program, some home science program, along with the Sector Skill Council certification, then the student need not do anything when she goes abroad and she has to look for a job. This Sector Skill Council certificate is valid all across. And moreover, when you are going to prepare yourself for IELTS, we have a diploma course in communication skills that again gives you the certification. So your passing the test also becomes easier, and at the same time, when you go abroad, you are facilitated by that certificate when you are trying to look for the jobs. Apart from this, all these programs, they have the training as the integral part. So that training certificate also helps you when you want to go abroad and settle there.
Yeah, ma'am. So the next thing is any insights into how your college could be more welcoming to the students of different races or economic backgrounds?
That's a wonderful question. You know, the DAV ideology is based on this, that we do not make any distinction on the basis of caste, creed, racism, and especially the students coming from very humble background. We have a long list of concessions and scholarships which are provided to the students of different categories, students who are coming from very humble background, and incidentally or unluckily, if they are a single parent child, if they are the only girl child, if somebody has lost her father, mother, we have different sets of scholarships for them. We have scholarships and concessions based on merit and academic achievements. Besides this, the institution, because it's committed to the promotion of co-curricular activities, so in the field of cultural activities too, the promising artists, they are given good concessions. The sports women, they are given free ships. And again, it is a matter of great pride for me to share with you that every year we have more than 200 sportswomen living in our hostel who gets boarding and lodging free of cost. So this is how we are trying to do our role in the education sector. And once again, it is a matter of great honor for me to share that DAV College Managing Committee supports us in all these endeavors. And the institution almost distributes scholarships worth 1.5 crores every year. Now, during this time of COVID-19, we have special scholarship schemes for COVID warriors. We have special scholarship schemes for people coming from economically weaker sections. And as I told you, the academic performance has always been a yardstick for us in providing these scholarships. Besides that, you know, our institution runs a very novel scheme, that is Earn While You Learn. No doubt we give many concessions, but children who are willing to supplement their income by being a part of Earn While You Learn scheme, they also get all jobs, all due assignments in our campus. For example, if a student gets free after 2:15 in the afternoon from her timetable, and if she's willing to work, we provide her with an opportunity to work in our general office, accounts office, library, boutique, cosmetology department, fashion designing department, multimedia department, journalism department. And by virtue of this, not only the income of the child is supplemented, but the confidence level of the child is also boosted up, so that when the child leaves the college after doing graduation or post-graduation, one is ready to face the life situations, the real life situations in the society, and one is full of confidence. So such kind of practice, you know, that motivates the children, that motivates the students to prepare them for real life situations.
Yeah, that's great, ma'am. And the next thing is, what do you think should be the college's top priority over the next 10 years?
The top priority of the college for next 10 years, if I think from the angle of the students, it is women empowerment, and women empowerment. And I personally feel that a woman can really be empowered in the real sense of the word only when she is economically independent. So to make the woman, to make the female economically independent, to make the woman learn the skills, so that not only she goes and searches for a job in the market, but she is capable of starting her own startup. That is going to be the priority. My motto, my funda is don't be a job seeker, rather be a job provider. So my agenda in next 10 years is going to be that along with the degrees, that is UT degree, PG degree, my agenda, my priority is to provide skill to every girl so that she can work from her home. She can work in the society. She can have her own startup, and by virtue of this, not only she is educated, but she is empowered in the real sense. Besides this, my agenda in the coming 10 years is going to make the girls aware about the beauty of maintaining the relations. You know, in today's society, the number of divorce cases, the number of broken home cases, that is on increase. And I personally feel that it is because of the impatience that is prevalent among the youth today. So being a DAV organization, it is my humble duty and priority to sensitize the girls about the beauty of maintaining the relations, about the beauty of creating such kind of relations that the homes are taken care of. So this is going to be my agenda. This is going to be the agenda of HMV in the days to come.
Yeah, great.
So far as the agenda of the college is concerned, we are already going to go for the third cycle of NAC accreditation, maybe in the month of January or February. And after that, my aim, my goal, the goal of my management is to go for the autonomous status, to have an autonomous college so that we can have more liberty in the choice of courses, we can have more liberty in the choice of curriculum, and we can integrate more practical component into our curriculum so that what we produce is not merely the graduates and the postgraduates, but what we produce from our college is the real youth, you know, the youth who is empowered for the coming generations, who is empowered for the financial liberty.
Yeah, great, ma'am. And so, ma'am, the next thing is, what are some of the biggest challenges you see both for the higher education and for the Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya specifically?
Yeah, this is a very beautiful question by you, Rupinder. The biggest challenge right now is, one, if we talk about North, we have to stop the exodus of youth to foreign nations. Because, you know, we are sending the best of our youth to other countries. And I have no hesitation to say that the other countries are progressing on the basis of our youth, you know. They are uninhabited areas. They are now growing because the youth from North is going in large number to these countries. And as a result, you know, if the same trend continues in the years to come, not far off is the time, you know, when Punjab will not see the youth aging from 19 to 30. And that would be real bad luck of our nation. So we have to develop certain policies. We have to make certain policies not only at our level, at the level of the institution, but even at the government level, so as to make the youth stay in their own country. We need to have more policies where placement can be ensured, where proper placement as per the qualification of the youth that is offered to the youth. Then only the youth will stay in India. And if I am to say that we have to change the mindset of the youth, that from the white-collar jobs, and if I talk about the girls, from the pink-collar jobs, we have to instill in them, you know, the dignity of labor, the dignity of learning the skill. Then only these the policies, they can fructify, they can be implemented. See, from last so many years, the government has been talking about skill, skill, and skill. But we have not been able to change the mindset of the youth to work with their own hands. Still, whenever there is an advertisement of a government job, for one job, thousands of people, they apply. So we have to change this mindset of the people that it is not the white collared or the pink collared job that they should look for. Instead of job seekers, they have to be job providers. They have to have the knowledge of working with their own hands, and then only the challenges in the field of higher education, they can be fought for. Apart from this, we need to change our curriculum also. So far as the curriculum of our courses is concerned, that is the age-long curriculum, we are dealing with. It is high time that we need to change the curriculum. We need to have practical part in every program. Then only we will be able to give that practical training to the students, so that immediately after doing graduation and post-graduation, when they enter into real life situation, they do not find the gap between what they have learned at the college level and what they are going to face in the real life situation. So building and bridging this gap, that is very important. And I am glad that Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya is taking all steps in this regard so that this gap can be bridged. And I'm sure that in the days to come, when this new education policy 2020 is implemented, this gap at the government level will also be bridged.
So yeah, that's great, ma'am. And the next thing is, what would you like people to know about your college that they may not know?
That's a wonderful question. I think very few people would be there who do not know Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya. As I told you, it is a college of excellence. It is a star college. It is a DBT star college. And it is the college, where the humanness is instilled, where the values and sanskars are instilled. We have no competitor in the field of education, in the field of academic excellence. We are a college of excellence. This is a rare status which is granted by University Grants Commission to any college, and we are the first ones to have this in North India. We are a Kaushal Kendra. If we talk about the government organizations, whether I'm talking about ASSOCHAM, whether I'm talking about FICCI, or any government organization or non-government organization, you may say, they feel equally proud to be associated with Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya. We have had the honor of having the highest score in NAAC accreditation, not once but twice in India. In our first accreditation also, in our second accreditation also, we had the highest score in India, and I'm sure that the same would be maintained by Hansraj Mahila Mahavidyalaya in the days to come too. And as I told you, it is the need of the society to produce humans. We are man and woman because God made it like that, but we need to instill that humanness in this generation, and this is what we are trying to do. We are the largest organization. We are a part of largest organization of India, that is DAV College Managing Committee. We feel proud to be part of that, and we feel humbled that our organization is being run, is being headed by Dr. Poonam Suri, who himself is a role model for all of us. So far as our Director Higher Education is concerned, he is an and a retired IAS from Haryana cadre who has a long experience of dealing in the field of education, Mr. Shiv Raman Gaur. So we are being guided by him, and at the local level, we have our chairman of local managing committee, Justice N.K. Sood. I have named these role models, I have named these icons just to give you an idea that the vision and the mission of this institution is in the hands of such academicians, such learned people, and that is the reason I always say that best for this institution is yet to come. Our Honorable President also feels the same about us when he says that you have given the best to this institution, but he says that if the bestest is going to be there, that is this institution will achieve in the days to come. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, ma'am. It was a wonderful experience interviewing you. And anything in that you want to give to the College Dunia viewers?
The only thing that I would say is that recently, we have my viewers, they are from all categories. They are the young people also, they are old people also, they are the girls and boys and mothers and fathers also. So recently, my college, we have raised a slogan, and I would request you to kindly popularize, kindly convey this slogan to each and everyone. Not only share this slogan, but work on this slogan. The slogan has been Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. But now the time is Beta Samjhao and Buzurg Apnao. So it is our humble duty that we not only take care of our elders in the society, because they are the treasures, they are the bag full of experiences from whom we are going to gain. But this is high time ki Beta Samjhao also needs to be taken care of, so that this society, which is which complements the existence of male and female, moves on to the path of prosperity and success. And this is only going to be possible when all the sectors of the society, they participate in this. And this is possible only when we have Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. तो बहुत हुआ, अब बारी है बेटा समझाओ और बुजुर्ग अपनाओ. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot.